This is how to tell if someone is rich, middle class, or poor by looking at their primary residence or their home. The vast majority of the 1% do not let their primary residence go over 12% of their total assets. So if they have $100 million, their primary residence will not take up more than $12 million. They've split them up into 3 segments. Upper middle class have over 5 million, but they're still less than the 1% who have over 10 million. Then there's those with 2 to 5 million, and on the left, those with 1 to 2 million. Those in the upper middle class will not let housing go above 23% of their total assets. As they get poorer, the home takes up more, 31%, and then finally 39%. The home is an anchor, so the larger the anchor, the harder it is to become wealthy. Because if a home was an investment, then the richest people on the planet would have 80% in their primary residence. Once they become a billionaire, their priority should be to build an $800 million house, because that would be the best investment. But no billionaire will ever do that, because they all know that your primary residence is literally just an expense, just shelter. You live in a home, but you live off your investments. Those that are poor, which is represented by this chart on the far right-hand side, they have over 60% of their wealth in a primary residence. With an anchor that heavy, they will stay in the bottom 80%. There's no way to get out. To get into the upper middle class, which is the middle column there, you need to get your wealth to the point where your primary residence does not take up more than 23 to 24% of wealth. And the richest people, those in the 1%, far left, their homes take up no more than 12% of their total assets. Again, it's not because they have a lot, because if they had a lot and a home was actually a good investment, they would just sell everything and build a giant primary residence. But they do not do that. They make sure if they buy or build a primary residence, it takes up no more than 12% of their total assets. Because the richest people in society know that a primary residence is not an investment, literally just shelter. It is a heavy anchor with a lot of ongoing expenses. Different charts saying the exact same thing. Far left-hand corner represents the top 1% in society. Again, 12% of their total asset holdings are in their primary residence, no more than that. The column after that is the upper middle class. You can see the yellow portion says 24%. Their primary residence takes up no more than 24% of their assets. The middle class range anywhere from above that to up to over 60% of their assets stuck in a primary residence. At that point, you're pretty much stuck in the middle class, or you're stuck in the lower class. Because the anchor is just too heavy, there's no way you're going to be able to dig out of that hole. Anyone who tells you that their primary residence is their best investment, guaranteed 100%, they are in the middle class, if not lower. Nobody in the 1% will ever say that their primary residence is their best investment. They know it's an anchor. They know it's a weight. They're going to minimize that weight, because if it was such a great investment, they would pour all their resources and build a gigantic home taking up 80% of their assets. But they're not going to do that, because they're not idiots. Learn the lessons about money that your friends and family never talk about. Start here and discover 5 ways to reach financial independence sooner by downloading my free newsletter linked off the bio. Good luck. Take care.